Our top story tonight, a gruesome discovery inside a local courthouse, a judge dead by his own hand. WSAV's Sarah Smith outside the Effingham County Courthouse where it all happened. She's got the latest details. Sarah.
Well, Andrew, he practiced law here in this area for over 45 years, and now Judge Stephen Yeckel, according to investigators, was found dead inside the Effingham County Courthouse this morning. Now, investigators say Judge Stephen Yeckel was alone at the time when it appears he shot himself in the courtroom. It either happened last night or earlier this morning, and one of the deputies did actually find him this morning at around 10 o'clock. Now, the sheriff says it isn't clear exactly what prompted Yeckel to take his own life, but they did discover a message that was left for Governor Brian Kemp. That note isn't being released to the public at this time, but we did confirm that Yeckel requested to resign from his position as state court judge earlier this month, but Governor Kemp denied that request. Yeckel lost his re-election to Melissa Calhoun earlier this year after 2 years on the bench. His last day in office was set to be today. Sheriff McDuffie sharing his condolences for Yeckel's family.
You know, this is never good for anybody. The family's distraught. I mean, it's supposed to be a happy time this time of year, and now that they've got this, and I think he's got some sons that are in law enforcement too, so they know what it's like. But I can't imagine if they have anything that they need from us, we'll be available and make ourselves available to them going forward. So.
And the Effingham County Commission, of course, also released a statement saying, that they're sharing their condolences and that they'll give out resources to anyone who works with the county and needs those resources or counseling. Now, we do want to include Yeckel has been involved in some controversy recently. He was accused of violating judicial conduct last year, but a judge did say there wasn't enough evidence to prove that. He was also sued himself by a former court employee for what she claimed was emotional distress, and he also filed complaints against the clerk of court, but those claims were dismissed. Now, we did ask Sheriff McDuffie if there were any current lawsuits against Judge Yeckel, but McDuffie says he wasn't aware of any, and of course he continued to share his condolences.
But I can't imagine if they have anything that they need from us, we'll be available and make ourselves available to them going forward. So.
And the Effingham County Commission, of course, also released a statement saying, that they're sharing their condolences and that they'll give out resources to anyone who works with the county and needs those resources or counseling. Now, we do want to include Yeckel has been involved in some controversy recently. He was accused of violating judicial conduct last year, but a judge did say there wasn't enough evidence to prove that. He was also sued himself by a former court employee for what she claimed was emotional distress, and he also filed complaints against the clerk of court, but those claims were dismissed. Now, we did ask Sheriff McDuffie if there were any current lawsuits against Judge Yeckel, but McDuffie says he wasn't aware of any, and of course he continued to share his condolences for his family and friends. Reporting live in Effingham County, Sarah Smith, WSAV News 3, on your side.
Damn. Shalom. First thing and foremost, I want to give all praises and glory and honor that is due to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Rakakwadash. I want to give double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone that rule well. Blessings and salutations to the hopeful elect. Noise in the gospel abroad, lifting up the standard of Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, wherever it may be. Man, 2025, man, it's kicked off with a crazy start. I mean, we only 6 days into the so-called new year, and judges are killing themselves. You got T attack after T attack after T attack, which that's what Esau was labeling them, T attacks, which are all narratives set up to push certain agendas to get certain groups out the way. All right. You have inclement weather, like we just got rocked with this storm out the blue. I won't say it was out the blue because we had intense fog all the way a week or so before Christmas up until the Christmas break, and then I believe slightly after Christmas we've gotten hit with what they call death fog, and then all of a sudden the new year comes and we get hit with like damn near 1.5 feet of snow out in the Midwest. So it's not really a coincidence. It's not surprising. But nonetheless, man, judgment has been going forth. And this has just been, so far, there has been nothing but judgment going out, which makes 2025 a year of judgment, all right? Because we just believe that Yahweh Shai is going to really up the ante on this on the playing field on this planet Earth at this time, man. So, you know, we have to be in the spirit. We have to stay stay in the spirit, man, because there's a sifting going on, you know, and the apostles were speaking on it, brothers were speaking on it, you know, and I believe it was a couple of guys, and I believe it was one guy that got kicked out maybe about a week ago. And then there was a couple of guys, I think it was like 2 guys that was part of the Trinidad camp that's no longer part of the body anymore. So there's a sifting agent going out, and it happens every year, before Passover, during Passover, and after Passover. So we got to make sure our shit is tight. We're doing what we got to do, you know, make sure we're on point with our prayer, and just fucking doing the right thing and keep your head down, man. You know what I'm saying? Jake be doing too damn much. Jake always now, I want to be seen spirit. Okay, well, you want to be seen, the Most High gonna see you and put your ass right up out of this thing. And that should be a fear for each and every last one of us, man. Okay, whether you in good standing, mediocre standing, or you ain't in no standing. That should be everybody's fear of the Lord getting ready to get rid of, because the Lord is getting ready to, he's trimming the fat, man. Okay, we coming into some times, man, and if you ain't right, the Lord he's just getting rid of guys, man. You know, now you're going to have tests out there, give or take. Some brothers going to have to go through the ringer in order to prove themselves to Yahweh Shai. But ultimately, you know, we all are being tested. But anyway, going to this case here, it says that this judge allegedly committed suicide. They said he had some type of judicial misconduct, which they all are corrupted. You know, judicial misconduct, which means that he was probably breaking laws, or he was probably coercing laws to his benefit, which most of these administrative assistants do. Okay, if anybody have ever dealt with the court systems, everybody knows that they're crooked. Okay, and that shit is completely off. And what they do is they extort people for money and their finances and their livelihoods, even breaking up families. As you heard, they said a woman had a complaint against him for emotional distress. So apparently, you know, he was engaging in some ill dealings, and the fact that the governor denied his resignation, we don't really know what's behind it. But in the spiritual side, this is really the Most High really getting back at you Edomites. Okay, I don't care about what happened to him as far as on a political side or what his reasoning for it was, but it's through the spirit. The Most High is getting you devils, man, because you have a lot of guilt on your spirit. Okay, we're in a time now that all hell is getting ready to break loose. They're talking about drones are popping back up, chariots are literally flying over FBI agents' homes, and who's to say that the Lord probably paid this dude a visit? Okay, that's the first thing in my mind said when I looked at the article and listened to it. I'm like, yeah, face value, surface value is probably, you know, things that he's done that he wasn't really called for, but on the back end through the spirit, I'm just like, nah, the Lord visited him. I'm like, the Most High probably sent the angel to him and warned his eyes, like, look, you getting ready to face your fate. And he probably couldn't take it, because you understand how weak Esau really is mentally. He hides behind a suit, a tie, a badge, and a gun, and wicked laws. And this is what they hide behind. But without all that, hey, the scripture said the Most High has made this devil bare. Okay, so, hey, we're in a time now that you're going to start seeing more suicides of judges, political figures, political leaders, politicians, governors. You know, like with this whole Luigi Maggioni thing, like that's pretty much been quiet. You know, and news came out that he was dressed up like Harvey Lee Oswald, which is the alleged assassinator of President Kennedy, which they even proved that the CIA had something to do with that. Okay, that Lee Harvey Oswald guy was nothing more but a fall guy. Same thing with this Luigi Maggioni character, right? He's straight up out of a Looney Tune comic book. Okay, he didn't do that shit. It's a ploy. They're playing on you people's emotions, intelligence, man. Okay, but nonetheless, Esau is getting ready to take a fall, man. All right, and like I said, we're gonna see more of these ordeals take place. Okay, from the state's attorneys to the governors, a lot of these people are getting ready to try to cash in early because they don't want to undergo that fate Okay, because if you're not the elite, or if you're not like the top creme de la creme on the left hand side, then it's safe to say that your ass gonna get touched by them missiles, man. Okay, so hey, call Allah Yahweh Shimi Hawashai. But anyway, I got a precept real quick. This is the book of Zephaniah 3 and 5. It says, the just Lord, and the scriptures say that Yahweh Shimi Hawashai is just. It says it's in the midst thereof, and he will not do iniquity. It says, every morning doth he bring his judgment to light, and he felleth not, but the unjust knoweth no shame, right? Because you would think that this would be a telltale sign for Esau to look and say, damn, you know, this is it. But in his mindset, he's even more proud. Okay, he passes more draconian laws, more wicked laws, more things to totally pulverize people's in his judicial systems. You know, and like I said, I don't really know the ins and outs of why this guy did what he did. Because reading through the comments, people were stating like, well, it don't sound like a suicide. It seemed like something is, he knew something, this and this and that. Whether be it, so be it. If he knew something or whatever, we don't know. But overall, that's a telltale sign that he's losing his power. Okay, because it's not uncommon from judges to really kill themselves, because this is not the first case of a judge being murdered or committing suicide. But you don't really hear about it like that. Because you think of a judge, you're like, well, damn, you got authority, you know, you got money, you're wealthy. You know, what do you need for? Only thing you got to do is go to court and oversee particular cases and give a judgment based on the jury's verdict, and then take your ass home. But with all that amount, all that corruption, all that extortion, all those wicked laws and decrees, that's a lot of guilt that builds up on you, because it's a lot of jakes. I'm pretty sure he's put a lot of jakes away for minor shit. Okay, I've known jakes that got Buck Rogers numbers for weed cases, man. I'm talking about niggas getting caught with 5, 6, 7 bags of weed, and niggas getting 10 years and shit, bro. Like, it's crazy. You know, even though, you know, you're not supposed to be condoning the sale of drugs or anything of that nature, because that's witchcraft. But even then, it's just like minor shit. Like, you know, guy get caught with some weed, he's probably getting ready to smoke it, and you give this man a fucking 100 years in jail. Like, I knew this one cat, man, that was from Chicago, and he said he got locked up for, like, he did 17 years for 8 bags of fucking crack. I said, wow. I said, back of my mind, I didn't know then. Back of my mind, I'm like, they should have killed your ass. But then when you look at something like that compared to all the crime that's going on in the world, I'm like, okay, it's one thing you're a drug dealer, but I believe he was smoking that shit. But even then, it is like, you got murderers, you got Jeffrey Dahmer type prototypes running around here committing all types of offenses to kids, and yet these people get slaps on the wrist. Like, you got literal sex offenders that get 3 years and get off, and then they go get a job at a damn daycare. You know, but then Jake tries to support his habit, which is a horrible habit. You give this man 20 years. So you judges, you have a lot to pay for, man. And the Lord ain't even started on you devils yet, and that's the scary part. But it says the Lord is just. The just Lord is in the midst thereof, and he will not do iniquity. Every morning doth he bring his judgment to light. He felleth not, but the unjust knoweth no shame. Right, man? So every day the Lord brings judgment, whether it's by suicide, car accident, like here in Kansas City, there was over 200 car pileup on the E-way when the ice kicked. Because first it started off as like freezing rain, which turned to a sheet of ice, then sleet. The snow didn't come until later on at night, until the morning. Because, you know, the snow gives you some type of traction on your tires, depending on what type of tires you have. But you got stupid people out here that was literally driving on a highway when it was a sheet of ice. I'm just like, where the hell are you people going? Like, why ain't you just staying put? And it got so bad to the point that they had to close down interstates out here because these stupid people, they kept traveling. Like, what is your gripe? You know, shit, you people, it's just like they just got demons on them. Like, what are you out traveling for when they tell you that there is a winter advisory getting ready to hit? And you wonder why your ass is stranded on the side of the road, car flipped upside down, you can't get out, you're dying. Which allegedly they said that was bodies found on the side of the road. Now, I don't know about that. I haven't heard any reports to that, so I can't really report on something like that, but it doesn't surprise me. As stupid as people is today, it don't surprise me. All right. But anyway, Job 18 And I'm gonna start at verses let's start at 5. It says, yea, the light of the wicked should be put out, and the spark of his fire should not shine. And we know that the wicked is talking about the devils. Okay, you Edomites, Edom, starting with the top elite first. Okay, then it trickles on down from the common Edomite. But it says the light should be dark in his tabernacle, and a tabernacle was basically a dwelling place. All right, and it says, and his candle should be put out with him, and the steps of his strength should be straightened, which straighten goes into difficulties or positions of difficulties, man. Because right now we're seeing Esau, Edom in a position of difficulties, because basically Esau was like Jake now. Okay, when they did a earning, they got like what they call an earning statistic, when they show you the male or the counterparts of particular ethnicities, and at the top of the list of wealth was Moab, and it was Elam, man, the East Indians, and it was fucking Moab. That were the top 2 earners in the world. Ishmael, you know, well, mainly here in Babylon, I put it to you that way. And then, of course, the so-called black man, we was all the way at the bottom. We was literally at the bottom. And guess who was 2 notches above us? Esau. So it was like a list of like 20 people or 20 ethnicities, with the so-called white man being 3rd from the bottom. Now ask yourself that the so-called white man Esau, which is he's the epitome of strength on the earth right now, right? He's Superman, he's Batman, okay, he's all the superheroes, he's the comic book characters, but yet he's in the lower 3% of earning. That's him being straight, and the Most High stripping their ass bare. Okay? Yeah, now they're doing good as a collective, as a whole, but a lot of these Edomites ain't living too well, man. Okay? They are living off credit card debt. They're maxing out credit cards. They're going into retirement accounts, IRA accounts, and a lot of them have trusts that they have set up that they have to pretty much they have to deal in those trust accounts, man, because the average Joe ain't got no money like that. You know, like sometimes it boggles me when they building up these new developments around this area. I'm talking about these are $2,500 apartments, but yet you got a chick that works at Starbucks in a bookstore that's probably making $18 an hour at most. I'm like, how the hell are they able to afford apartments like this? But what I found out is that a lot of them are not even paying property tax. Like a lot of these homes and new developments that they're bringing up, like these new houses that look like Legos and shit. I don't know how true it is, but I believe the source that I got it from. And they was telling me, they said, well, on these new properties, because they know about the HUD shit. They like a lot of Edomites on Section 8. A lot of them get food stamps. And a lot of them are living tax-free, which I can really believe that, because I'm like, I know where in the hell she afford a $3 million house off a Starbucks salary. I'm like, unless our father got a trust account or he got some serious money, or Esau just getting unlimited lines of credit taken out. But I don't see how the hell they can even live off this when I can barely afford a goddamn 2 or 1 bedroom apartment. You know what I'm saying? And it's just like, it's wild. But because they're straightened, which straighten goes into positions of difficulties. It says, and of his strength should be straightened, and of his own counsel should cast him down. Because you're seeing a division among Esau now. You know, you got Esau against Esau. You got one side against the next. You got the Democrats. You got the Republicans. I mean, you have these militia groups. You have these talking groups. You have shit like Antifa, which all that is really set up. But then you got a group of men that's against the small hats. And then, you know, you got their own private militias. You got this guy by the name of, what's this guy's name? Glenn Beck or some shit. You got Alex Skolin, Bone Jones. You know, you got the Redacted. You got all these people that's coming out and they're exposing their own government, even though they're paid off. You see? But it says here, for he is cast into a net by his own feet, and he walketh upon a snare, and a gin should take him by the heel, and the robber should prevail against him. It says, and snare is laid in him. It says, the snare is laid for him in the ground, and a trap for him in the way, and terror should make him afraid on every side, and he should drive him to his feet. Terrorists, man. Okay, because like I said, man, the elites, they're leaving you people behind. You know, out of all the wickedness you've done, out of all the judgment you've brought out on our people, the Lord is finally visiting you damn devils, man. Okay, and we ain't seen shit yet. All right, so let me go from here to the book of Zechariah 11, because this is what happens. Zechariah 11, and I'm going to start at verses 5. It says, whose possessors slay them and hold themselves not guilty. Yeah, man. You think this devil right here, man, which I don't feel bad for these. I'll pray more you fucking commit suicide. Honestly speaking, because look at this dude. No, this guy wasn't right, man. This fucking devil. Look, this dude ain't, come on, man. And they want to hold him up, even though he had allegations against him. But average Edomite would hold this guy up like he's the ultimate concierge of justice. He's really bringing justice. He ain't bringing justice to nobody but his own. Okay, you think of Jake going in his courtroom, you think he ain't gonna throw the fucking park bench at Jake? Yeah, right. This man probably didn't probably handed out 1,000,000 years to niggas since his 10. He's been a judge 45 years. Oh, he's literally handed out 1,000,000 year sentence. Because see, they get bonuses based on that. Like conviction rates are basically sales pitches, man. They go in the back in the chambers and they come up with a formula to try to lock you up because they get incentives off that shit. You know, they literally playing with people's lives, man. This is why they don't even judge according to a righteous law, because according to the righteous law, you're supposed to have evidence on somebody or somebody that did something before you lock them up. But you lock people up before you have evidence that they did anything. You lock them up based on allegation. Like that's stupid as hell. Now, if somebody has an allegation against you, then of course you watch him and you kind of be like, okay, you investigate it. But even then, you lock them up and you're getting all this money of locking people up, man. You know, this is why the Most High is getting ready to destroy you damn devils, for real. But anyway, it says, whose possessors slay them and hold themselves not guilty, and they that sell them say, blessed be the Lord, for I am rich, and their own shepherds pity them not, man. All right, matter of fact, let's go here to, I think it's Isaiah 42. 42, and yep, 42. And let's start at verses 22. It says, but this is a people robbed and spoiled. They're all of them snared in holes, and they are hid in prison houses. And how they hid in prison houses? By men like this. Okay? Men like this. And what makes it so bad is that he got the black woman that do his bidding, because you got a lot of black women judges out there too. And it's so funny that they're presiding over these particular cases that have biased approaches. Like they will put a female judge that got a history of domestic abuse in her situation, just so she could be justified on giving men or whoever it may be crazy sentences, man. You know, it's wild as hell. Like I was reading something too about a cop that was falsifying records, a black woman at that. She was falsifying records to target men, all because she had poor relationships with men. So therefore, she was targeting Jake men. And you know they were Jake men, man. Okay, because one thing about Keisha, the Esau gets a pass, but when it comes to you Jakes, she hates us, man. Okay, I mean literally, like when you watch those podcasts and shit, like a woman that's trying to cater to a so-called black man, she gets the 3rd degree. But she was catering to any other ethnicity outside of her own, they are commended for. There you go, girl. You do that for that white king. That white king deserves your privilege. You know, all that shit. But when it comes to us, don't be serving that nigga. He ain't shit. And this is what we hear constant 24/7. We ain't shit. We ain't shit. We ain't shit. And then the whole world adopts that sentiment. And you wonder why, Jake, you go in there with a handicap, man. You literally going in there with a handicap. Okay, that is like walking into the room with 1,000,000 troops in there armed to the T, and nobody tell you to go in there and protect yourself. You go in there and you get riddled with bullets, man. And that's the type of game we playing. You know, and the Lord has to even a playing field for real, because this shit is getting out of hand. But it says, this is a people robbed and spoiled, and they are all of them snared in holes. They all are hid in prison houses, and they are for a prey and none delivered, for a spoil and none said restore, right? Because it ain't in their best interest to restore our men. They're not in the process of restoring and telling us who we really are. Because if they was to tell us who we really are, then that would expose them for their false narratives. Well, if they're the Israelites or the Jews that the Bible talks about, then who is these people over there in the land of Israel? Okay, who is these people that has been masquerading as these people for so long and has gotten away with it? You see? So yeah, man, the Lord is getting ready to bring judgment on you people, man. In 2025, this year is scary already, man. I'm not even gonna cap, man. It's a lot going on. Satan is active. You know, he's fucking with the minds of brothers. You know what I'm saying? I have to rebuke his ass daily because, you know, Satan, he tries to fuck with my mind. Like he was trying to fuck with me this morning. I said my prayers and, you know, do my usual every morning. I try to wake up and pray to the Lord, man. You know, but then he telling me, he said, oh yeah, nigga, All right, you tired, you don't want to do it. Nigga, get out my head, bro. I ain't hearing that shit. And we ain't come this far in the game to lose. I don't give a fuck. Hey, like one of the elder brothers said, he said, look, if you got to play injured, nigga, play the game. I don't give a fuck if you out there with a joint out of your socket. You better run this motherfucking race. And that's what it boils down to. So all you brothers out there that's sincerely trying and that's actually putting your best foot forward and you believe in this thing, hey, don't let them little demonic attacks fuck with your head, man. That's all it is. And tell yourself, look, that's Satan. That's Satan. I got a term. If the shoe don't fit, don't fucking wear it. Okay? Though there is room for improvement for us all. You know what I'm saying? We all can improve on things. And this is when you ask the Most High, like, look, man, I need to improve. What do I do? How do I do it? What do I go about doing it? You know, and then let the Lord reveal it and keep pushing. You know, and that's just how we gonna get through this, man. Because at the end of the day, if you ain't of the elect, you ain't of the elect. And that's just what it is. Okay? We don't know what the hell is nigga Nate talking about. But you ain't going to be saved solely based on your works alone. You're going to be saved through predestination. And if you are predestined to be saved, then you are going to have the works that's going to be equipped to do the work because the Spirit is going to be on you to do the works. Okay, so it works in tandem. Okay, so before that was works, that was predestination. Okay, if that make any sense. But anyway, I'm going to end it giving all praises and glory and honor that's due to Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. Lord's will you edify until the next lesson. Shalom.